It's been about 20 years since I came into the world of education, and I came in as an English teacher in middle school, and let's just be honest, I was not a great teacher. One of the things that I remember thinking almost immediately was, I thought this was going to be like when I was in junior high, and it's not. When I was in junior high school, we were quiet and respectful during class. Probably scared. That's probably the biggest thing. It was a time when teachers and parents worked together, and students sort of felt like the whole world was watching them. And when I started teaching middle school, I was 7th grade, 8th grade English teacher, and I realized right away that teacher-parent bond wasn't going to happen. There is something about being in front of a classroom for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the years I spent preaching, or if it's the years I've spent singing in church, or if it is the number of workshops I've led. But I'm generally sort of soft-spoken, but when I stand up in front of a classroom and start to teach, whether it's in front of a group of teachers or a group of middle schoolers or a group of high schoolers, I immediately take on this different voice. It's a much louder, more powerful output than normal. And it's sort of, I guess, this sound of authoritarianism. And that doesn't always translate well. And I thought about that the other day when I heard a recording artist talking about her early days in the business when she was playing clubs. And she was playing some pretty rowdy clubs. And most of the time when she was singing, she said that people were just talking or laughing or carrying on, and very often it'd get so loud you couldn't hear her at all. And so she experimented with different things. She tried to sing a lot louder and play a lot louder. That didn't help. She tried to sing a lot softer, play a lot softer. That didn't help. It wasn't until she came upon a single realization that she understood what was going on. And she said this. She said, I finally learned that just because I was singing didn't mean they had to listen. And that hit me, because that summed up what was going wrong for me when I was an English teacher in middle school. Just because I was teaching didn't mean anybody had to pay any attention to me. Now, I wish that I could give you, 3 easy tips to get kids engaged and listen to you in the classroom. Unfortunately, I've already explained to you that I am a lousy teacher, and I don't have those 3 things. I can tell you what worked for me. I struggled trying to get a group of middle school kids to pay attention to me. I was in my 40s. I had absolutely nothing to say that they wanted to hear, until one day I decided to pull my best Robin Williams and got up on a table in the middle of class. I just pulled a page right out of Dead Poets Society and got up on a table and began to talk to them. Now, the element of surprise grabbed them, and suddenly kids who had tuned me out and were sat with their back to me, suddenly everybody was looking at me. And while I had their attention, I did one simple thing. I told them a story. I engaged their minds in something that was tangent, that was sort of connected to the topic at hand, and I had them. In that moment, I had them. Now, I can't tell you that I had them again when class started the next day, but in that moment, they were mine, and they would listen to whatever I wanted to tell them. So here is my teacher tip. If you're a teacher who's struggling with getting kids to pay attention, with getting kids to listen, invite somebody into the room. It's one of the reasons why admins and deans at our school do pop-ins. We're coming in to look for student engagement. What does that engagement look like? Have you drawn them in some way to the lesson? That's what we're looking for. And so if you're struggling with that, invite somebody in, whether it's an administrator, the dean, another teacher, invite somebody in to watch your class for a little while and just give you some critique that might help you down the road. I don't encourage you to get up on a table, but, if that's what it takes.